Mwalenda na basata amushuwe chibemba mwali shishibasana walishire kwe chibemba chimwe chitira ulelila daba mucheba kukanwa aifo twamona mulelila nomba mukumitala likale kentumitala like muli umusango nalipo.
What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to JQ.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
We are very much fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. Good evening, Honorable Lubinda.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you. This is the Sunday calling you from Kanyama Central, Zambia.
Thank you very much. You can proceed with your question or contribution.
My question is from Honorable Lubinda. I remember Honorable Lubinda one time on the TV session, this he was saying, I will come here on this session. Shame you to say Banyara, Tawina. Now I'm very surprised today. Honorable Lubinda is trying to insinuate that the 2021 general elections were rigged. Honorable Lubinda, truly, what assurance do you have now that the one who rigged the 2021 general elections is now seated in the seat? All the security is surrounding him. How possible, how sure are you that you are going to win that 2026 general election? Honorable Lubinda, you were a minister of justice. Can you show us your justice to say when ECZ went to Barungu to say, I am surprised, we are surprised that but my elections in Narusa, we don't know how we lost the elections. Were you in touch with that ECZ or what?
Can you quickly wind up, sir? We accommodate some more callers.
Yes, but Honorable Lubinda, Napanga register, Ipanya number one. For many times we end up Sagira Goal and the Samabotu, Steve Pagatika, Uzula, it was not possible. So, Latebe, Baladi Kuchitra would have lose the elections, or Bagari Vishra would have an election. May God bless you, otherwise, opposition and military.
Thank you very much, sir. Our caller from Kanyama has put across very interesting issues for your response.
Yes, I'm sure that Munsanje.
Maybe we lump it up with this caller as well. Good evening, you are through to the platform on Millennium Television. Your name and where you're calling us from? Welcome, Honorable Essential Banda.
Good evening, Honorable Lubinda, acting president for PF.
Good evening, Honorable Banda Mulibwanje.
Thank you. Yes. Mine is a quick one, and there's been so much talk about discrepancies vis-a-vis the registered voters and the population in the southern province of 15 wards, but also what every stakeholder should take cognizance of the relative to 2022 and the 2010 census. The critical age group which you should monitor is in 2010, the age group between 8 and 16 were not eligible to vote. That is the age group which has become eligible to vote in this next period of this coming census. So even if there's been any growth of population, those are not eligible to vote. So the age group which was in 2020, for example, if someone was 8 years in 2010, now they are 18. Those who are 16, if you add 10, actually they are 26. So if you look at those numbers in 2010, those are the people who will register. So the case should be the total registration of a number of voters registered in the 2026 general election should not be more than that age group, because it's the age group which has become eligible for voting. And that being the case, that same age group should be categorized to the provinces like Southern Province, this age group. What are the numbers? And the numbers should not be more than what will register. I think mine is a contribution. Even as we interrogate this matter, there is need, basically, as we look at some statistics, to interrogate this age group. So that's my take. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Banda.
Thank you. Let me start with Honorable Banda, and I agree with him entirely. Now, what you are talking about, Honorable Banda, is what I was referring to earlier as verification of the figures. It is those statistics and those permutations that you use to see whether indeed the voters' roll is correct, whether indeed the census of population is correct. When you look at the population, you say, the last time at the census in 2010, what was the population? And what is the population growth of Zambia? And that information is always available. You go to Zamstats, they will tell you that there are so many births in the country every year. And using those figures, you can extrapolate and say that in 10 years, this is where the population ought to be. So if the figures become too drastic away from that extrapolation, then you know that there's something wrong. So that is important to check the statistics. Now, the issue at hand is this glaring revelation that in a particular area, the people who voted were more in 2021, were more than the population in 2022.
Of the subsequent year.
Of the subsequent, how could that have happened? That is the question that ought to be answered. And that's the reason I'm saying that because of those discrepancies, you cannot build numbers on that number, because then you'll be building on a wrong basis. And back to my friend from Kanyama, he himself must be shocked with this revelation. He must be shocked. He must be giving answers. Can he give us answers? How did it happen that in those 15 wards, there were more registered voters than the population? He must give us those answers. And yes, I am not embarrassed at all to say that in 2021, I was so confident.
Just hold your thought, Honorable Lubinda. Good evening. You are through to the platform on Millennium Television. Your name and where you're calling us from. Then you can continue with your contribution.
Good evening, son. Kwa Kanyama kuno. Naona Lubinda walipatizi hapo wabaisi.
Yeah, wamai.
Karibwanju hivi Lubinda.
Nilibu inomai, mulibwanju kukanyama uko na mafloods.
Utiribu inomovudika dabe manzi atipaya wadate.
Paya manzi, taona tonsi.
Atate ni soko ndwela ifeta sauka mchipani cha nacho. Imililani watatu tuli mapazi mwani, ndisiwana wantu tuli mapazi mwani wadate, tafutika nacho chipani cha tisausa njala, tisima oda, tingeni sadabe, maji tikhala wana wafutika. Kone mwanzepo tuzo kudia 3 times, 3 meals a day, but maji tukudia kamuzi. Utavutika nao abantu bachoke 2026 siwafuna ngati vavomero pamene apa mu August waimilire tivote.
Thank you very much, Mom. Zikomo.
Nikupe kuti na Musanje amvera. Amusanje naye kunifunsa kuti tingazi kabibwanji kuti tizawina ma elections mu 2026. Nicho nakamba kuti please bahaga inde. Bachose ni baku ECZ. Mulete wena. And let's start fresh registration of voters so that we can have a free and fair election in 2026. Under the current arrangement, Mr. Musanje, Nakambakari, we can't expect to win under this arrangement. And our Maya Vutika, she wants to vote and remove Hakainde Hichilema. But for as long as Hakainde Hichilema continues with this voters' roll, which has been disputed, continues with this census report, which has been disputed, continues with ECZ under the leadership of Mwangala Zalomis, that woman after the elections will also cry and say, vote Yanga Pitakoti. So please let us prepare ourselves. Monsanje, let us prepare ourselves. Can you give us answers? Tell us on this television. Those people who are stuffing ballot papers.
Hello?
Just what you thought, Honorable, we have another caller on the line. Caller, you are through to the platform on Millennium Television. Your name and your contribution, please.
Sir, thank you very much. Good evening, Honorable Lubinda.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. I have a question. My name is Moses. I'm calling you from Mazabuka. I just want to ask a question. I think, Honorable, remember during the period of gassing, there was a young man who was shot by the police, who happened to be my younger brother. Well, he was shot by the police by the name of Evans Musa, if you remember, quite sure. Hello, Honorable?
I'm listening.
Is listening?
Yes. That young man was shot. He was at home. I think that was in Kanyama there. That's where he was shot from. Now, asking on basing on the family wasn't compensated, not even a single amount, not even supporting anything on that funeral. I still remember. Now, if my question is, if you are to come back in government, are you going to look at all those issues which happened, like looking at the family of that person who was shot by that time? Because this time around, we have tried our best trying to find a way of us like going to the government to try to help us over the same, but that has not happened. Not even a single response has come back. Now, as you are trying, like as you are pushing to come back into government, are you going to look at those issues which are happened in such kind of a way? Because the family didn't get not even a single support from the government after that happened. But that person was shot by the police. 2 bullets. I still remember. He was shot 2 bullets, and he was buried with 1. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Mr. Simosa, I wouldn't like to comment a lot on...
Let me just bring this caller on board as well. Good evening, you are through to the platform on Millennium Television. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Good evening, Bamonsan.
Good evening, Mr. Chilesha, I suppose?
Yes, you are very correct. Honorable Lubinda, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Mwalenda na basata amushuwe chibemba mwalishishi basana walishire kwe chibemba chimwe chitira ulelila daba mucheba kukanwa aifo twamona mulelila nomba mukumitalalika leke ntumitalalike muli umusango nalipo mwisaka sana paliyo namba lelo icho mwingasaka sana chakwe wati be worried about the meal allowance that UPF scrapped off from the students. Okay? Be worried about the number. Even if American Mnaba Kwatapa news bulletin to say 1,800 plus students have gone under what? Under skills training. Be worried about the social cash transfer that has been enhanced. I was checking about the numbers, the people that have benefited from social cash transfer, cash for work, the school feeding program. They are about 2.5 million people. That's what should worry you. Be worried about the free violence in the markets. Be worried about
we quickly wind up, Mr. Chileshe.
So therefore, so be worried about the implementation which the UPND are putting in place. So ama numbers are omuledi la sensors atafikwete nchito, but be worried about these things. Efyo mufuire muledi la nafyo alabaka sukulu balatotero mukwe watu mwali chitabu eno bachileshe pakufumia po PF pandumi allowance. Thank you so much, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chileshe.
Wachileshe na enendea famita like okutira moneni ku bantu abo mwaleeba okuti ati bakalya 3 meals per day nomba mwabeeba okutiira iyo mwira pose ubwalinga mwapwisha okulya ekyungulo musunge mukoche mailo mukalya ekyingala.
We have another caller on the line, Honorable. We can just accommodate this one. You are through to the platform on Millennium Television. Your name and your contribution, please. Mr. Clement, you can go ahead with your contribution. Mr. Clement, would you kindly turn down the volume on your gadget?
Okay. Okay. Ajabachita tendeva wanda padi PF na UPNG. Because like padi situation tulipo from my way. UPNG kusere kuba kuchita control country yesu. Pas family because Mozambique ichikaramba vyakurya. PF tarishita kasaka padi 190. Manja pakati pa 350 ngamuri 6 pangani. How much are you spending every month? Vyakurya. So ngamwesha kupia different ya ni ma conflict kadaz ndele zozinga bani. So different ili tuletwe lombako. Efuti wabwekenga wasafumia kwa makadarizi. But ngatabaka fwe kadarizi usiwa ngabwenelewa. Eba bayo painting achinga fwe control. Abe netetu wabwekerepo. Ishu itufwetu achite kumone ungeza kontrolesha yoche spandaji.
Thank you very much, Clement.
And to add to what Clement is saying, bachireshe nde idishanya sana pakumono okutira bachireshe tabala fo okulanda okutira ayama skulu balelandapo ama university balelandapo who built them bahaga inde. Can you tell us mwe bachireshe naba munsanje, tell us which school you have built?
Just hold your thought, Honorable. Another caller is through. You are welcome to the platform on Millennium Television. Your name and where you're calling us from? Kwa yaba na mwapeti bakonkanya pono ripusha nangula comment.
Ukulanda kwa bachireshe kaibe na bale kwanisha. Ifo fwe bachire kwanisha tulino bulanda sana. Ama skulu twale replace ali mpia ko batinga kana omuntu kulipila. Ubunga twale shitawanishani. But ubunga pali no shitakuresto ubunga shinga. Which means twelipilira maskulu mubunga. Eronga twalolesha fwe bambira tukwata mafamili ya bafyashi sabale kwanisha okushtabuli obunga. Inende kwanisha kwacho right. But bamayo kulya tabale kwanisha kutukala kwanisha na bamatwe baperako. Twale baposera tapia pano nfina bene balishita. Twalolesha kuna bana bachikweta abana bakubafwa. Nabe na malaika la shani kwiralolesha diskulu. Isukulu tulipilira mubunga. Emo tulipilira esukulu. Kwa yupo na perera.
Elio bamebo okutira ati free education but baisa lunda fuel. So tumwana pota ku skulu impia isha kumpela isha kutianine bus. Shide fuma kui? Wachireshe ati abana ba skulu bale bapera meal allowance. Mwampera meal allowance umwana kafye umupa family baba iche bakwe kunganda balela alensala abasambira cyane umwana ambo kusenda meal allowance bamupera ilia atuma kuri banira kumushi kutati byashiteko obunga. Nishi, what have you done? You're talking about social cash transfer. That social cash transfer mulela ndapo bachireshe mulela nda chishinka iyo social cash transfer ni fwetu ayambire ba PF teba UPND yo tapali ili yonse program bamba ba UPND on their own. All they are doing is just increasing on what we did. Mwapela abantu 36 million kwacha mwayumfo nokuyumfwa ndeba pela 36 million kwacha per constituency inena le kwata fye 1 million 1.6 million. And I was planning that 1.6 million with the people of Kabwata. Now they are giving 36 million, and yet the one who's planning is the Minister of Home Affairs. Police. Minister of Health.
Honorable, we pick our last caller and we come to the closing remarks and close the program. You are through to Millennium tonight, to the platform on the Millennium Television. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Thanks for tuning in to JQ News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates on tech, politics, and everything in between. Until next time, stay cool.